Let's turn the page now for the news at 6. Educators fighting back after months of payroll problems put their hard-earned money on hold. Tonight, the Gaston County School Board is still battling a lawsuit from 2 of its teachers and the North Carolina Association of Educators.
The lawsuit alleges the Board of Education went forward with a flawed payroll system despite warnings ahead of time that it was compromised. And you'll remember we have reported on these protests from educators calling for answers and accountability. Right now there is a pause in the legal proceedings, but that expires tomorrow if both parties in the lawsuit don't come to a resolution.
But as the lawsuit plays out in the court system, WCNC has been asking, where's the money now? WCNC Charlotte, Shamaria Morrison in the studio. Shay, you've been investigating this story for months. Many folks, they want to know who's footing this bill to fix the issues and how much is it costing them?
Well, all good questions, and the truth is Gaston County Schools is using taxpayer dollars to try and fix the issue. The school district has paid almost $1 million to 2 companies to fix the payroll system for the past year and a half.
When will this go away? I mean, can we throw any money at having more people? I mean, I asked the superintendent, can we sue Oracle? I mean, whose fault is all this?
Whose fault is this? It's a question WCNC Charlotte has tried to answer in our investigation to find out why hundreds of Gaston County school employees haven't been paid properly for almost 2 years.
If my figures are correct, which I believe they are, they owe me $3,956.71.
WCNC spoke to Adrian Scares last school year around this time. Scares was a Gaston County employee who left in May 2022, partly due to the payment issues. I want to know, have you received any money yet that you are entitled to from Gaston County Schools?
I have not received anything from Gaston County Schools. I have not received even as much as an email, phone call, nothing from Gaston County Schools.
On January 1st, 2022, Gaston County Schools went live with the new HR and payroll system. It was all part of a state law that asked local school districts to modernize their school business systems. That included how employees get paid.
They were just using us as guinea pigs to test something out.
The General Assembly tasked the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction to award state funding and provide the governance necessary for districts to implement the new system through a grant program. Gaston County Schools volunteered to be a pilot district and chose Cherry Road Technologies. School districts could have went with other providers, but there was a catch.
We are only funding the districts who are moving to one of the 2 vendors on the RFP.
Choosing Cherry Road is a decision some would regret.
At some point in time, we're gonna have to jump off this train.
In 2020, through grant funding, DPI said it would provide Gaston County up to $3.8 million for the new modernized business system. Through an open records request, WCNC Charlotte learned Gaston County Schools knew it had major problems with its transition to the new payroll system just months after it was implemented.
The atmosphere was people were kind of losing hope because you had people who were having automatic drafts come out of their account for their mortgage, their rent, their car payments. Some people couldn't even, get groceries, their basic necessities.
While employees like Scares were going without pay, Gaston County Schools asked for its first major increase of money from DPI, $494,200 to be exact. The reason? To help resolve issues. Less than 3 months into this program, they knew they were having so much problems that they asked DPI for almost $500,000 for post-production issue resolution support. As an employee, did you feel anything?
No, and you sharing this information is the first that I've heard of this. It would have been nice if the state would have said, no, what we're going to do is we're going to pay the employees.
We found financial documents making major changes that were dated as early as April 2022. 6 months worth of support would cost Gaston County Schools and taxpayers almost $100,000. Just one Cherry Road employee cost $160 an hour. And after working on the issue for a total of 112 hours, that cost the district more than $17,000. Before the 2023 school year, in June, Gaston County Schools asked for a second increase of money from DPI. bringing the original state contributions of taxpayer money from $3.8 million to $4.6 million. And that's almost $1 million extra dollars.
They could have paid me. They could have paid several other people with that amount of money. So you're paying these people who aren't getting the problem fixed. So that's another issue that I have. That's another major concern. It's starting to make me think, where's the money and who is doing something wrong?
While this was going on in silence, Gaston County Association of Educators started to get louder about payroll issues.
It is just very disheartening and insulting.
In September of 2022, Gaston County Schools superintendent apologized to staff members during a town hall.
I have great regrets that all this is done to different people.
It was one of the first and only times he talked about the issues publicly.
At this point, Diane, I don't think it benefits anyone to say who shot what and who did. What I know is that at 2:30 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning on those calls, I see Cherry Road representatives, I see Gaston County representatives, I may see state representatives.
After these comments, just a few weeks later, North Carolina Representative Kelly Hastings reported that he had emails between state officials showing Gaston County school administrators were advised not to transition to the payroll system. Gaston County Schools refutes this, saying, quote, representatives from Gaston County Schools, NCDPI, and Cherry Road Technologies all agreed that Gaston County Schools was ready for the implementation. More purchase orders and invoices would continue. A December form purchasing a year's worth of Cherry Road support for $200,000. Another invoice from Cherry Road showing more support was being contracted. This bill for $12,400.
If Gaston County Schools has this much money just to pretty much throw out the window, something's not right. Something is definitely wrong with this picture.
And after months of fielding questions from state lawmakers and employees, school board members started to lean in on top Gaston County leaders.
It's just a dark cloud, Dr. Booker, that's hovering over everything good that you've done for Gaston County Schools. This is how we're going to be remembered, is through Oracle.
Booker was silent. But despite staying silent in public, emails show Booker was intimately in the loop about the payroll system issues.
As the leader of Gaston County Schools, he was at fault. He was the one who approved all of this. He was the one who, I guess, negotiated or was a part of it or could sign off on it. So he is at fault. Nobody else is to take the blame. He is at fault.
And despite asking several times, Gaston County Schools did not make anyone available for an interview. Instead, they said in a statement, in part, school finance/payroll is complicated and that the extra money, quote, was a necessary expense that helped us lessen the number of issues moving forward and put our finance/payroll department, which is fully staffed now, in a much better position to use and administer the Oracle system. Our reporting on this issue is not done, and as you can see, we've gotten several statements from key players in the decision-making process. However, we have emails dating back to November of last year asking for face-to-face interviews to discuss where the money was going. We were never granted those interviews, but you can find the full statements from both Gaston County Schools, the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction on our website, WCNC.com.
In fact, your reporting does continue because you do have an update on Ms. Scarce, the teacher that you were speaking to, right?
Yeah, I do. So like we said, we asked Gaston County multiple times, hey, do you want to do an interview with us?
Yeah.
We let them know about our investigation. Scarce, she texts me and she says, hey, I just got a call from Gaston County Schools and they said that they hadn't paid me out and that they'd like to get me paid tomorrow. Obviously, we're going to check in to see if this has happened. Okay. And you can even see in the statement that Gaston County Schools gives us on our website, they say if we know of anyone who has any problems, which we do know of some, that they'll try to get it worked out. So we'll see.
Wow. Glad we're getting some resolution. Thank you for getting that for her.
Yeah. Great work.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks, Shay.